I'm Terrify, and your terrorist friend. Come in. Come in. Come in. Today, in this video, I'll be honest, I'm a little serious. There's urgency with this message, and there's potency here, so I hope that you stay and you listen very closely as to what is coming out of me. I'll be sure to do my best to express. So, the topic that I want to speak on is about the inability to see one's hatred. We're talking about hate, resentment. Look how the wind picks up. There's a lot of energy in this one today. Your hatred is not a bad thing. The spiritual community will have you believe that hate is something awful, as if it's this thing to get rid of or to push away, to try to stuff positivity over it and suffocate it out like snuffing out a flame. But what I've learned through my own discoveries and through observation of others is that hatred can be used and utilized. It's a bit of a double-edged sword in a way. Your hatred can be transformed into love, and your hatred points to something that is not being seen properly. Here's what I'll mean. Or here's what I mean. What I know about hatred and resentment is that underlying there's pain. There's a conflict, some type of infliction, a wound that has been put upon me by life circumstances and by my own judgment. My hatred says that this is not the way it's supposed to be, and this is absolutely stupid. 1,000%. It says that there was something loving here, comfortable, and it's been replaced with something discomforting, and it feels very off-putting, foreign. Here's a story that I'll tell you from my own observations. I used to talk to this woman who went through a pretty terrible relationship. Her partner was abusive, both in the physical sense to her and her dog, her pet. But also she experienced emotional abuse as well. It was not a good time. And so as she's in this relationship, she builds a character that is surrounded in resentment towards the actions that this abuser has done. And so moving out of that relationship, she started to get into spirituality. And so she took on the thoughts that the spiritual community decides to give to people. Be positive. Be joyous. Be happy. What happened in the past is only the past. It doesn't define you. All the cliche things that come out of the mouth of that cesspool of bullshit. The spiritual community has filled her mind with things that aren't in her reality. She wants them to be in her reality. The desire is to feel good, which is why we take on those things. But that's not how it is. And so having this positive force, while there's still an underlying resentment towards someone, it doesn't help. It won't stick. You have something filling this space. So how can you bring in what you desire if you haven't made room for it? In order to make room, you have to be honest with yourself. Sing all the hallelujahs and the powerful positivity and the praises all you want. But deep down in your gut, your reality and your true feelings are that of resentment and anger. And so I told this person, I said, you hate him. Specifically, I said, you hate that nigga. It's okay to say that. It's okay to admit to yourself that you are full of hatred. But she wasn't having it. There was a rejection. And she said that it's not okay to hate. Well, continue to suffer. Because there's a denial of the way one feels. Only through acceptance do you recognize what is here so that you may uplift it and then bring in the positivity. Your hatred tells you that this person is violent. Your hatred tells you that this person has done you harm. Your hatred tells you that you want better for yourself. Hatred is not a bad thing. Hatred points to the things that we feel like we deserve. Hatred points to those things that will make us better. But it can't be actualized if there is no acceptance. Do you understand what I'm saying? Please listen. Use it to your advantage, because if you do not, it will destroy you. And then everything that you try to pile on top of it will just be washed away like the ocean waves over sand. Try drawing something in the sand close to the shoreline. You'll see what happens. Something has to be more concrete. Everything has purpose and everything serves purpose. Use it to your advantage. And so, in my own life, resentment has come plenty of times, for years. Deep in my heart, deep in my chest, I felt violent rage. I want to put a word to it. Wrath, fury. And what that did for me was, first off, cause my life to be hellish, because I wasn't seeing why I was upset. All I knew was I was upset, and I was pouring it on to people, especially those that I cared about, those that I loved, not even knowing why. And then I decided to uncover why. And then my anger was directed at one particular person, or maybe 2 or 3 people, based upon my family setting and structure. I then had to realize that they weren't the cause. I was the cause. I was that which was continuously influencing the way that I was feeling. My anger was only pointing at my pain. The pain of feeling abandoned or not being seen properly. The pain of having to be small and to go unnoticed. The resentment that I held only burned me. And so I had to come to a realization, like, this is not how I want to be using this energy. And so I've had to sit with myself for a very long time just to understand how to use it effectively, properly. And I found that there was a weak child underneath who was afraid and rebellious. And so instead of ignoring that child, I decided to pour into him because all he wanted to do was be seen. My hatred was only getting me to see clear. So, as I wrap this up, giving you my own personal life experience and that which I've seen, rejection, denial, aggression, abuse, it all comes full circle to some sort of innocence that exists within and a desire to uplift oneself. So, the next time that you decide to repress or reject or deny your anger and your hatred, check yourself. Please. There's a lot to be learned. And I really do want you to see how valuable it is. I'm reminded of an anime, My Hero Academia. And there's a villain by the name of Shigaraki. The backstory of him, spoiler alert, he was a small child who just wanted to be a hero. And his parents told him, you can't be a hero. And so, he was sad. He decided to try and play hero anyway. And then he was caught by his parents doing something that they told him not to do. And he was punished for it. Therefore, he felt resentment, pain. He was wounded in that way. And because of his wound, he became a villain, wanting to seek out and destroy everything. Hatred is such a powerful thing. If you want to destroy something, destroy yourself, the image that you hold of who is hurt. Underneath, there is a pure feeling. And then use the power that has grown hatred. Use that in that purity. That's the most I can do for you. That's the most I can give. The rest is up to you. So, I hope that you've learned something today. And I hope deeply from my gut that you transform yourself into something newer. And so, that was heavy. You be good to yourself. Transform. Stay hydrated, please. And I will see you when I see you. Bless, man.